Hello and welcome to another episode of This Month in Master Duel. My name is Ed.
And my name is Ibriz, and I'm very happy to be here joining Ed to present this month's episode.
In a brand new studio in sunny Paris, no less. It's all pretty much the same. You know, you and I are still here. This is all different, but we're still here. And so is the Rescue Rabbit. How have you been, Ibriz? Have you been well?
2 rescue rabbits this time, even.
Goodness, that's how you know things are really being shaken up here at This Month in Master Duel. Are you well this month in Ibriz?
I'm very well, thank you, Ed.
Good.
How's everything with you?
I'd say all well, and I'm very excited to go through what we've got in for store with you guys in the show. So, for those of you who haven't seen the show before, basically we take you guys through exactly what you can expect in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel in the coming month. And now, with a brand spanking new setup, it's going to feel like a new coat of paint for your new coat of paint that you're going to be getting in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. So, here's basically how the show is going to operate. Obviously, Ibriz and I start with a cheeky 60-second challenge where I just test Ibriz's knowledge of what's recently happened before we then go into some of the stuff that you can expect. We have a little game that we like to play with Ibriz where we try and see if he can guess some of the card percentages of how much people are using those in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. We have an exclusive duel, which we'll be talking about a little bit later, and then we'll be going through some selection pack and secret pack information.
Indeed we do, and there's also another segment later on regarding the Challenger Cup and some of our European activations as well, so definitely a lot in this show for people to look forward to.
That's going to be the most exciting thing for a lot of the community, so make sure you guys stick around and wait for that because you'll want to know more about this. And we have a nice video from our correspondent, Basti, so keep an eye out for that coming up soon. So Ibriz, like I said, it's time for a 60-second challenge. I don't need this yet. I'm going to put this back down. Pretend you didn't see that, Ibriz. So, you know how this works. 60 seconds, you're going to recap everything that's happened in the last month in Master Duel, leading up to this month in Master Duel. Do you think you can do that?
Also pretend that I don't see the timer on the screen so that I don't get thrown off.
That is going to add a little bit of stress, yeah. But do you reckon you can do it?
Yeah. Let's give it our best shot.
Okay, I'm going to pretend to look at my watch, even though I will be seeing it on the screen. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, Ibriz, 3, 2, 1, go.
So, thinking back to April, just the arrival at the end of March, actually, of the Blazing Arena selection pack. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, very hot, because, you know, all...
Very good.
Nice.
Excellent fun.
Not so good is the fact that I've used 15 seconds on that.
Good, yeah, good point.
Going in
40 more, go.
April, we had the selection pack Nightmare Arrivals.
Yes.
More on that in a little bit, of course. Just really happy to see the Illusion monsters coming to Master Duel. Following on from that, secret pack after secret pack after secret pack after 2 more secret packs. 5 secret packs in April. Very fortunate that we were able to see that. We also had the spring accessories release, and the Forbidden Limited list at the start of May as well, just the update to that. Some really exciting stuff actually happening throughout April, start of May.
Well, that's the end of your 60 seconds. I think you did cover everything, though, and I could see you looking in the corner of your eye occasionally at that time. But I think you timed that pretty well.
Yeah, it went okay. Honestly, a lot of stuff happened in April.
It did. So why don't we go through some of that, Ibriz? So, for instance, you started talking about Nightmare Arrivals, which brought illusion-type monsters and things. So that's something that obviously people have seen. We've seen that a lot in TCG. It's exciting to have it come to Master Duel. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the illusion-type monsters, of course, seeing players just in isolation of themselves. The Chimera decks really looking good. But in addition to that, not only do they operate in and of themselves, but also you can splash them into your branded decks and really elevate the level of what is already one of the most powerful fusion strategies in the game.
And we might be seeing that on display a little bit later.
Maybe.
Oh, there's a juicy little teaser for you. Now, also, 5 secret packs, which is quite a lot. So can you rattle off all the names of the secret packs? There's a challenge.
So we had Raging God of the Sea with the fish-type monsters. Very cool. Karyu Shin, I believe, was on the front of that one.
Okay.
We had...
This is not another 60-second challenge.
A dance dedicated to the heavens with the Mikanko.
Okay.
By the way, really fun deck. Just equipping and dealing some damage back to your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. Rescue Team Emergency Dispatch with the Rescue Ace was one that we know was long awaited by a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Especially with the advent of the Snake Eyes cards back in February, because together those make a really, really powerful deck.
Mm-hmm.
So we did Raging God of the Sea, we did a dance dedicated to the heavens, we did Rescue Team Emergency Dispatch.
2 more.
Um,
Oh, now you're really being put on the spot, aren't you?
I'll look at my notes. It's the Flunderies one. It is Wings That Span the Sky.
That's a nice name.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
Nice
and what was the 5th one?
The 5th one would have been even nicer. My Cute Lovely Friend.
Okay, well, so that's already quite a bumper month for card releases. But then, speaking of cards, which the show's all really about, wasn't my best segue, Ibris, but I'm trying to do what I can. We had the Forbidden Limited list. So some interesting things there. We saw Super Heavy Samurai Soul Piercer go from semi-limited to limited.
Yeah, so just thinking about this Forbidden Limited list, of course, back in January when we spoke about Indomitable Pride and the release of the Super Heavy Samurai support, honestly, seeing Soul Piercer get restricted further does impact the deck further as well. That being said, previously we saw Performer Pal 5 Rainbow Magician also be targeted by a list.
Very true.
So therefore, Super Heavy Samurai weren't in the worst of places, and with this, while they are still hampered a little bit, they are still very, very formidable.
We also have one of the most popular decks at the moment, Snake Eye. We've had Snake Eye Ash, and we've had Wanted. Both go from 3 down to 2, so go from unlimited to semi-limited.
Yeah, now both of these hit consistency in different ways for the Snake Eyes deck and for other decks that happen to use the Snake Eyes engine. So Snake Eye Ash in and of itself, you won't really see outside of the dedicated Snake Eyes decks. Just reducing the consistency of that as a 1-card starter does really affect what these decks can do on the first turn.
Yes, but I suppose it sort of does make sense for some of these things to have some kind of minor restrictions imposed on them because they are dominating the meta at the moment.
Yeah, and Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils is a little bit different from that because while you will see it at 3, or you did see it at 3 prior to this list in all Snake Eyes decks, you also saw it at 3 in your non-Snake Eyes decks that happen to run 3 of that plus Diabell Star the Black Witch.
Okay.
So it functions as the searcher to start the combo and eventually get you into original Seeker of Sinful Spoils.
So it's a little bit more of a
Original
hit.
Sinful Spoils, Snake Eye. Yeah, it is a little bit more of a hit just because it also blanket affects every deck that happens to use that engine as a whole. For example, my Infernoble Knight deck. And while I've seen a lot of decks move to 2 of Wanted and 2 of Diabell Star to try and balance that out, it doesn't feel so great opening both of those cards. Whereas previously, if you just open Wanted, it was really, really nice.
Well, going from Snake Eye Ash to Ash Blossom and the Joyous Spring, you mentioned the spring accessories. See, some of my segues, some of them, they're very hit and miss, but I really go for it. So we have the Cherry Blossom Icon frame. We have the Ash Blossom Icon. And then we also have... There was a card protector as well, wasn't there?
There is the Flower Cardian card protector. Yeah, really, really beautiful. Definitely grab those while you have the chance because
they're leaving the store tomorrow. They're leaving the store tomorrow, so you've got to get your hands on them. Limited time. Grab them now if you want to have those Ash Blossoms. Always important to have those because sometimes it's quite nice to have those accessories, and it's such a popular card that it's nice to be able to have those little bits of display on your profile just so that you can show that off. Now, speaking of popular cards, Ibris, 2 good segues in a row. I have here a buzzer, and you know what that means, Ibris. It's time for me to test you on card percentages. I haven't come up with a good name for this feature, but we're just going to say, guess the percentage.
And if anyone in the audience wants to get involved and guess along with us.
Let's see what you guys say in the chat as well, but I'm going to kick it off. Your first card, Ibris. And I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give you 5% either side.
Okay, this is way, way more generous than previously. That is not a complaint, by the way.
I was about to say, fine, I'll take that away.
Go.
Okay, so what would you say is the percentage use of the card Called by the Grave?
So Called by the Grave is really good because it can disrupt your opponent's disruption, basically. You'll see it just used against Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, Maxi, any of these monster effects that have to be discarded to the graveyard. It's a semi-limited card from the get-go, so not as...
But you've already mentioned Max C, and that's such a dominant card in this. Then it's one of the only outs for it. So
it is indeed one of the only answers to Max C.
Well, other than Ash Blossom, yeah.
Cross-out designator as well.
True,
but that is also on the Forbidden Limited list. So, okay, I would say 80%.
Just slightly out. There's our siren.
Have you dispatched the emergency team?
I've sent in the rescue aces. So the actual answer is 73.2%. So you're just a couple.
I was very close.
You were very close.
Very, very close.
Very close indeed. So
who is not running that at 2, by the way?
That's a good question. Although sometimes I think people want the one out just to be able to fit something else in of an engine. But it is quite important when you've got stuff like Max C around, or even Ash Blossom, you do want to have those in your arsenal.
Yeah, and to be fair, a lot of these decks do want to run just 40 cards for consistency. I've been playing Infernoble, which runs like 44, 45, 46, no issue.
Okay.
So, yeah, very
pretty
different
staple
perspective.
Yeah. So, right, that's the first of your card. Your second one is Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flame. Now, what would you say is the percentage usage of this card right now?
So, this is a less generic card. Obviously, a very formidable Link monster that can special summon a fire-type monster from your graveyard. Easily climbs into a Link 4. This is throwing me off, by the way.
I know. That was the plan.
Fire deck's very popular right now, therefore, this card very popular. Not as popular as Called by the Grave, so I'll go with a clean 55%.
38.1. So that's not bad. It's actually less than you'd expect, because you're right, the fire decks are so popular right now, but 38.1.
Again, I've been playing too much Infernoble Knights, which also uses this card, by the way. So
keep a mental note of how many times Ibris is going to mention that throughout today. It was already mentioned a handful of times off camera.
It's the Dynamorphia deck of,
exactly.
of May 2024.
I haven't even mentioned dinos yet, but Infernoble have had a handful. Okay, let's go on to your next card. Speaking of dinos, the thing that wiped out the dinosaurs, a giant meteor, Nibiru the Primal Being. What would you say is the percentage usage of Nibiru?
Some of these segues are just...
Some of my best,
yeah,
I'd say.
One of the best cards in any elemental hero deck.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So Nibiru is very useful against decks that special summon a lot, which of course are
pretty
most
prevalent.
of the decks in, this current
format is very heavy on special summoning. As always.
That being said, as far as disruptions are concerned, I rarely actually find space for Nibiru in particular versus the likes of your Max C and your Ash Blossom. Therefore, I think that it's a safe bet that Nibiru will be around 45%.
I'm afraid not. You're slightly off. It's 56.1, so over half of the decks are using it.
Okay.
Which is, I suppose, in this current format, like you said, kind of expected.
Yeah. Really powerful card, of course, just to throw your opponent off, disrupt their combos. Very good against Super Heavy Samurai that we discussed earlier, by the way.
Well, it's pretty good against anything.
Yeah, okay.
It's just a useful card to have in those against those decks that summon a lot. But then the next one that we might be discussing a little bit later, a popular card, Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf.
Okay.
Salamangreats will be coming up later. Keep an eye on
So, Sunlight Wolf, you benefit from using Sunlight Wolf as material to summon another Sunlight Wolf. Yeah. I don't know where else I'm going with that.
That's all good spiel.
I have seen this in some non-dedicated Salamangreat decks, by the way.
Okay.
Just in general, solid card. I don't think it's insanely popular, however, so let's go with 20%.
Slightly out, but very close. It was 13.9, so ostensibly 14%. So not a bad guess. But then your last card, and this might be an unexpected card for me to ask, is Max C. What is the percentage usage of Max C?
So previously when we discussed this, it was just under 95%. And that was an increase on the previous time.
Bear in mind, okay, so this one is no longer going to be a 5% giveaway.
Okay.
I want you to get within 1%. Because there is a decimal, and I don't need you to
I
give
will
a
guess
decimal.
93.7%.
Ding. I don't have a ding, so it's the opposite of this. 94.2.
Okay.
So you were within 0.5.
Nice.
That's very good. That's well
you.
within your rights. But
The
yeah,
only one that I got.
the only
And
one
it
you
had
did
to be a
get.
maxi.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. But it's kind of easy to guess at this point. But
Yeah.
over 94% of decks on Master Duel are utilizing this card. That's pretty astounding.
Yeah. Really, really strong card, of course.
Are you guys running Maxi at home? Tell us all about it in the chat, because I'm sure you will. So, this is not all we have going on today. I mentioned that we'd see Salomon Great coming up, and at some point we're going to talk about that. But first, last month, you guys saw us have a wonderful little chat with Emre, one of our 3 world champions. And he's returning today, Ibrit.
Yes, he is, to show off another deck featuring the illusion monsters we mentioned earlier from Nightmare Arrivals. Very happy to see him demonstrate his expertise with those, despite the fact that they are very new.
Yeah, exactly. It'll really show off just how good some of these players are, especially if you're a world champion. But he is going to be dueling wonderful Peria, who we're going to be speaking to in just a bit. But first, let's take a look at the duel.
Hello guys, this is Emre. Today I'm going to duel against Peria. I'm playing against Peria today because he is actually the one who beat me twice at the Invitational in Malaga. And I kinda have to get my revenge, so I'll take you guys with me. There he is. I'm going to play the Chimera brand strategy. I think it's a strong deck, this current format. And I hope I can finally beat him. I hope that I can finally beat him. Already dueled twice, lost twice. And yeah, hopefully today's the day. It starts good, we're going to go first. And let's see what our opening hand gives us. Okay. This hand could be very good, but also is very vulnerable. So I am going to use the Kotal in the main phase to search a Sword Knight. Let's see if our Sword Knight resolves. So normal summon Sword Knight, use the effect. Sword Knight tributes itself to special summon a monster that mentions Chimera Fusion, except itself. A Maxi is fine. As long as our cards resolve, I think we're good. So we are going to summon the Baphomet. Baphomet will trigger. And he has an Imperm, okay. We will chain Chimera Fusion here to dodge the Imperm. So what we can summon is the Baphomet, because we use a Fiend and an Illusion monster. We're going to summon it here. And this allows the Baphomet to trigger. So we're going to search the Gazelle and the Chimera Fusion. We're going to trigger the Baphomet, chain blocking it by targeting by using our Chimera's effect. So we're going to mill another Sword Knight. So we have the double monster negate for the next turn and for a follow-up turn. Then we're going to trigger the Chimera Fusion in the graveyard to add it back. And I think this opening now is pretty strong. You kind of want to go for the other Chimera Fusion for this one. Because what this does is it takes a card from your opponent's hand and discards it randomly. So even if you play into Maxi, they still have to discard one card. Okay, we're going to end our turn now. And let's see what Peria is playing. We have quite a few interruptions. He's playing Dark Beckoning Beast. He's normal summoning Dark Beckoning Beast. So I would assume it's Bright. That's fine. I'm going to train my Sword Knight on the field to tribute it to special summon another bear from it though. So what you're usually doing is you should do this in the draw phase or standby phase since it's a quick effect, and then you don't play into a potential triple tactics talents. We're going to trigger a bear from it. It resolves, very nice. And now we have a lot of interruptions. Okay, we are special summoning Bright Blue. I think I am going to train my first... I could use my first Chimera Fusion here now. But I will just... This is now a bit tough. I am going to use the Sword Knight because I plan to fusion the Chimera away from the field. So now I will chain Chimera Fusion. To summon my Guardian Chimera, using the two monsters on the field and my Gazelle. The blue is negated, and now my Chimera, my Bear from it, and my Gazelle will trigger. Which will most likely guarantee me follow-up. Okay, nothing chaining from his side. So my cards will resolve. I will add the Kotal because the Kotal can add the Sword Knight in my turn. I'm going to special summon the Sword Knight in defense. I drew an Nibiru that's very strong. And I'm going to destroy two monsters on his field. Now he has 6 cards left in hand, already normal summoned. And we know the one spell. Yeah, we knew about this. And let's see what Peria can do now. He's going to set one card. Okay, so he's going to discard a card and then special summon a Fiend. So I assume he's going to special summon the Dark Beckoning Beast again, which is fine. It's ending the main phase, okay. Alright. Melfi Caddy hits the field. Okay, what does this do? Alright. That's a very strong top deck, guys. So my draw phase, I will use Mirror Sword Knight to dodge a potential Veiler. Special summoning the bear from it. And now we can special summon everything in attack mode. It will only get to search one Gazelle. He's going to trigger the Catty, which is fine. Is it fine? I can also just impermanence the Catty. I will impermanence the Cat here. Okay, he has an impermanence on his own. I cannot dodge the impermanence because I cannot use the Chimera Fusion in the draw phase. So my Baphomet will get negated, but I think it's fine. I think we should be still good. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take the Chimera Fusion from my graveyard to the hand. Okay, we have plenty of options now, like a lot. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use Kotal Effect to get my last Sword Knight from the deck. I will go into another Chimera Fusion, Guardian Chimera now by using Chimera Fusion. But we could theoretically, I think it's safer to go for this one first, using Big Wing Baphomet and Gazelle. The reason is because once I have this on the field, I have a target protection with Kotal in the graveyard. So even if that's another impermanence, I can dodge the impermanence by banishing Kotal. So now I'm going to use the second. I'm going to use the second Chimera Fusion. Using Guardian Chimera, the Sword Knight on the field, and Nibiru from my hand. So the Guardian Chimera will trigger. We're going to destroy the Dark Beckoning Beast and the face down card. The Gamma Burst, okay. Then we're going to use the Branded Fusion. Going for the Albion. Using Albion effect, we're going to summon the Mirror Jade by banishing Albas and the Guardian Chimera in the graveyard. And now we could go into the battle phase. Maybe Peria has the Nibiru, okay. So the Nibiru now is pretty strong. We're going to chain the Mirror Jade to banish the Catty. Okay, so Nibiru hits the field. It's going to be a strong token for me. A really strong token. And I don't think Peria can really beat the token. I'm going to normal summon the Sword Knight and set 2 cards face down. And now the token will be destroyed because of Mirror Jade. The last card in his hand will get discarded. The Mirror Jade will trigger, and now the Albion will trigger, setting the branded opening. And now I want to see Peria beat this. I think the only card that comes into my mind would be Sprite Starter, but I could banish the Chimera, which is what I'm about to do. Special summon the Bear from it, which is the Chimera on the field, so I have a monster negate again. So now I'm protected from targeting, and I have a monster negate. By banishing Sword Knight and Kotal from my graveyard, I have Called by the Grave and I have Mourner. Okay, since he has 2 Fiends, does this card target? It does not. I think we should be fine. Nothing to worry about here. End of main. And I will beat Peria with its own token. I will switch the token in attack position. And use it to beat Peria. Nice. Okay guys, after 3 tries we managed to beat Peria. I'm super happy. Yeah guys, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
And off the back of that duel, we are now joined by Peria Life here in the studio. Peria, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very fine. And you?
Yeah, doing very well, thank you. It was very exciting to see you having a duel. What's it like? Because this is the second time now you two have dueled. What's it like dueling a world champion?
It's very interesting. Emre is a very tough opponent. And it's like the first time I'm happy to lose a duel. Because
Because it's to a world champion.
yes, and because I like him a lot. So I was happy to lose for once.
You mentioned before that last time we interviewed Emre, despite you winning the last duel, and this time Emre won, and we're interviewing you. We've got this all backwards, Ibris.
Well, still, despite that, we do have some very good insight from Peria on how that duel went. Specifically, being on the losing end of things. Sorry for the another reminder.
Commiseration.
But just what do you think could have gone better there, playing against something like Branded Illusion?
Maybe if I had like Impermanence or Veiler to stop him early, I could have won. But I didn't, and he played his deck very well. So he deserved to win this time.
Yeah, so hearing about his deck, Ed, I believe you asked Peria a little bit about the deck that he ran for that.
Yes, because you're using a Sprite deck,
Yes.
and you've mentioned that actually you've used this a little bit to climb in ranked. So talk to us a bit about why you chose Sprite.
Yes, so last season I went to Master 1 in like 2 days with Sprite.
2 days?
Yes, so I decided to play it against Emre, but I got destroyed. So maybe I will change deck next time.
Well, I mean, it's clearly working for you. And obviously, you're also a Challenger Cup winner a couple of times. What decks did you use to win the Challenger Cups?
I used a lot of decks. I used Sprite, but I used another deck that we will talk about later, is Salamangreat.
He's good, isn't he? He's already setting up the hooks and the segues.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exciting to see that you've got such a good range of decks and that you're clearly very expert in doing them as well, because you can hold your own against world champions and win Challenger Cups.
Yeah, and speaking of Salamangreat, as Peria very kindly mentioned there, and as you rightfully acknowledged as a great segue, We have a very good friend just above us as well here.
There he is. There he is. Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. We're going to talk about Salamangreat Raging Phoenix in just a moment because this is all coming as part of Revived Legion.
Yep. Selection Pack Revived Legion coming to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Salamangreat Raging Phoenix there on the front cover of it.
Comes with the Horus cards, and we have a world exclusive card, actually.
So this is a card that did debut in the OCG, but has yet to be released in TCG.
Okay.
That is Overload Future Fusion. Peria, do you want to just lightly touch on that before we go into the individual cards?
Yes, so the card looks very good. It's a mix of Overload Fusion and Future Fusion. So it allows you to make a Chimera in one turn.
Chimera Tech Overdrive.
Yes, exactly.
In one turn.
Yes,
Okay,
like
great.
from the deck. So it's very crazy, and I think Cyber Dragon will be maybe very strong with this card.
Because you used to be a Cyber Dragon player as well, didn't you? So this must feel good for you.
Yes, it feels very good, and I will enjoy playing the deck again when this card will release.
Yeah. So this is one of the 5 featured cards of the pack.
As you can see here now, and we're going to go through them all right now. So let's start with the first one. And this one is a bit of a mouthful, so I'm going to try and get it right, but it's Memento Tekutlika Combined Creation.
Yes, it is. Memento Tekutlika Combined Creation. This is the ace monster of the Memento archetype. 5,000 attack and the ability to attack multiple times within a single turn. Peria, do you have any additional insights you want to add to the card?
So when I see this card, it seems like a very good boss monster for the deck, and very powerful. So very excited to see it played by the players.
I mean, it's amazing. 5,000 attack, and it can attack multiple times.
Yeah.
That's a heck
Yeah.
of a card. So that's our first one that we've got, one of the 5. Second of the 5, one of the Horus cards. We've got Horus, the Black Flame Deity. Ibris, over to you.
So Horus, the Black Flame Deity, is really exciting for me just because I love Horus, the Black Flame Dragon, you know, level 4, level 6, level 8, which was effectively Jinzo, but for spell cards back in the day. The Black Flame Deity, a little bit more different and more, while still control-oriented in the playstyle, definitely does offer more interaction with the graveyard, more interaction in terms of removal from the field as well. Peria, I believe you had quite a few comments on that.
Yes, this card is very interesting because if your opponent remove one of your Horus card on the field, it's remove all the monster in opponent's field. So it's very strong, and it's surprising because it's an effect in the hand, so your opponent cannot see it coming. Very good card, and I'm waiting to see it in the game.
Well, one that you're definitely waiting to we'll talk about in just a sec, but this is a really staple card that people have been playing in the TCG for a while. SP Little Knight is now coming to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel.
Yeah, and we've spoken about how the Memento cards, the Horus cards, these are all kind of respective signature cards of their decks. SP Little Knight, on the other hand, fits into practically any deck. It's so good and so versatile that it can really just act as a bridge to so many different strategies and different combos that it enables so much. Peria, do you want to talk to us about how good SP Little Knight is?
Yeah, so SP Little Knight is one of the best Link card ever printed. It can be used in almost any deck, and I think a lot, like every player is waiting for it right now, and very excited to see it on the game, and we will enjoy it.
Yeah, and I believe you have a combo graphic to take us through here, just showing how to access SP Little Knight and use it to its fullest potential.
So this example is with Live Twin deck.
Mm-hmm.
So you special summon, you normal summon your monster, you special summon another one from your deck, then you special summon one from your hand, and you make a IP Masquerena. So with IP, you use IP in the following turn. Current turn, you use IP and the monster you have to make SP Little Knight. And when it's summoned, you can banish one card in the field or graveyard of your opponent.
Yeah, so this is basically a DD Crow-esque disruption, or even from the field during your opponent's turn when played with the at the speed that IP Masquerena facilitates. So really versatile option for removing a target on your side of the field or on their side of the field, or just disrupting their strategy as a whole.
We're going to see this played a lot. I'm going to test you about the card percentages of that one next time, Ibris, because that's just how popular it's going to be. But another popular archetype that people like, and definitely one that Peria likes, Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. We've seen it up there on the screen. Ibris, tell us all about it.
So Salamangreat Raging Phoenix actually fits into a lot more decks than just the Salamangreat strategies as well.
How versatile.
Very much like SP Little Knight, though maybe not quite as versatile. Bit more of a resource commitment being Link 4, but still super, super cool card with a lot of game finishing potential thanks to massive attack points that just get further boosted by the rest of the cards you have on the field.
Now, Peria, as a Salamangreat fan, what does this card mean for you?
Oh, so this card is like, I love it. I love it so much. And I'm very happy to see it coming and very excited to play it in Master Duel.
Now, do we have a combo that we can illustrate with this one, Ibris?
Do we?
Okay, so let's take a look at this one.
Step one of a few. So in this hypothetical scenario, you are playing Snake Eye, which is, as we know, a very popular deck.
Very.
Essentially, as we mentioned before, the Snake Eye Ash functioning as the starter for this combo, going into Snake Eye Poplar. Poplar with the Sinful Spoils, then lets you eventually get to Linkuriboh.
Yep.
Then from Linkuriboh to Flamber's Dragon, eventually into Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames. Peria, do you want to take it from there?
Yeah, I will take it. So then you use Flamber Dragon with buyback 2 monster.
Mhm.
Then you make Princess, and then you climb. Then you reach a point when you have
World Sea Dragon Zealantis.
yes, exactly.
Good mouthful of a card.
I let you take it from now.
Oh, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
For passing the buck.
Pit Knight Philly is also there along for the ride. And essentially, the interaction here that you want to capitalize on is the fact that when you go from the Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames into Salamangreat Raging Phoenix, you can then link off the Raging Phoenix into the World Sea Dragon Zealantis. Therefore, you've put both Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames and the Salamangreat Raging Phoenix into your graveyard. Then, when Zealantis banishes everything on the field, you special summon back your opponent's monsters, which then procs the effect of the Promethean Princess,
Yes.
destroying one card on your side of the field as well, to in turn have the Raging Phoenix come back.
Yes, exactly.
Raging Phoenix then takes back some of the attack points from one of your other monsters that you had on the field, in this case, Pit Knight Philly.
Yes.
And ideally at this point, your opponent's side of the field is clear, and then you can just swing for some crazy attack numbers.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Expertly done, gentlemen. Both of you did very well there explaining that. And all of that is coming in Revived Legion, which is available tomorrow. So make sure that you guys get your hands on that, because you're all going to be wanting to get that SP Little Knight. Some of you will be wanting to get Raging Phoenix in there. This is a really, really great pack for you guys to get your hands on. So make sure that when it's available, you guys all hop into that. Now, these are all cards that you're quite excited for. A man who's won many Challenger Cups and topped quite a few as well. But we have a little bit of an exciting announcement, and Basti, basically our Challenger Cup correspondent, CCC if you will, is going to take us through a little bit of some of the exciting things that you guys can look forward to when it comes to Challenger Cups very soon. Basti, take it away.
Thank you so much, Ibris and Nat. Indeed, the new season of Challenger Cups has started. I'm as excited as always. Spring season is offering some new cool changes, which I'm going to break down to you in just a second. Also, I'm going to show you some cool plays from the first couple of cups, so let's dive into the action. First of all, the spring season is going to be about Baron de Fleur, and you can see that with the prizes here for 128 player Challenger Cup already. You can win a cool Baron de Fleur acrylic figurine, and also the game mode of the season is going to be in the design of Baron de Fleur. Speaking of 128 player Challenger Cups, this is from now on going to be the minimum size for Challenger Cup, so it's only going to be 128, 256 and 512 player Challenger Cups, and all of those cups are going to have 7 rounds of Swiss, meaning all of the X1s from now on are going to be guaranteed to top, which makes the playing experience a lot smoother in my opinion. And in the first week already, we had some pretty insane gameplay. For example, we got the world champion here, Quantal, just casually in a Challenger Cup of the first week, activating a couple of trap cards and reducing the opponent's life points through that to 0. Pretty hilarious gameplay, not gonna lie. Additionally, we already got to witness some exciting Paleozoic tier limits gameplay. And then eventually Has winning the first Challenger Cup of the season with Labyrinth. Overall, we had plenty of different decks already having great success in the first couple of cups, so you guys at home should also be joining the Challenger Cup action with your deck of choice, proving us that your deck also can win tournaments. Make sure to join the Discord server for the Challenger Cups and then get into the action yourself.
Thank you, Basti. So, Challenger Cups really are, first and foremost, for the community. And the exciting thing that we get to announce to you guys is that very thing, that you guys, the community, get to decide what's going to be the prizing for these Challenger Cups that the community get to take part in. And Ibris, it's a nice fire theme for the summer.
Yeah, so as we saw with the Baron de Fleur themed assets and the prizing for the spring, we actually now have an opportunity to vote for the featured monster of summer.
So why don't we take you through what featured ones we've got. First up, we have Rescue Ace Turbulence, a very exciting, fiery, explosive card.
You dispatched him earlier with your buzzer.
I certainly did, but that's not the only thing that we've got. We've got Salamangreat Raging Phoenix, who we just touched upon that you guys are able to get your hands on tomorrow, but that's only 2 of the 4.
Yeah, and I keep talking about the Infernoble strategy. Well, Emperor Charles the Great is another option here, and of course, a monster we saw a lot of earlier, and you will see a lot of throughout the Challenger Cups. Snake Eyes Flambear's Dragon rounding out this lineup of iconic fire monsters.
Now, I don't want to sway the poll in any way, but I'm wondering what people are likely to vote for, because there's some great designs in there. I know people love Rescue Ace. You did already mention that Snake Eyes, very popular at the moment. I'd say my money's on Flambear's Dragon winning, but that's for you guys to decide. So if you guys want to make sure that you're voting in this poll, head over to our socials at Yu-Gi-Oh! Card EU, where you guys can find out more information on how to put your votes in. And you can have your say as part of the community for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel in what you want to see in those Challenger Cups. Very exciting. I'm really excited that the community get to sort of decide what's happening in the future.
Yeah, really exciting to see just how beautiful the Baron de Fleur spring appearance was, and really hyped to see what we end up with for summer.
So am I. So make sure you guys cast your votes. Now, cast your minds. See, they're not the best, Ibris, but I can try. Cast your minds past the voting poll. Go and check out the socials and do that, because I'm feeling a bit peckish, Ibris, and that's because we've got a brand new secret pack called A Full Course of Magic.
Hungry for some cards, Ed?
Yes, very much so, Ibris. I'm trying to think of food puns as we go, but they'll come out at a certain point when I think of a good one.
Yeah. Some duelicious strategies on offer in this.
Brilliant.
In this one.
Chef's kiss, Ibris. That was great.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of chef, the
first
chef
card
of the hour, yeah.
Oh, very good segue. We're on fire today, Ibris. Much like a stove where you would cook things.
You would not cook sushi there, however, which is the other half of this pack alongside the Nouvelles. Nouvelles and Suship being the go-to strategies of A Full Course of Magic.
So you guys can see why this has happened, why it's called what it is, Full Course of Magic, because it's going to be serving up several courses. And our appetizer, this is going all right, our appetizer is Baelgul de Nouvelle. This is the first card that we're going to be talking about here. So, Ibris, talk to us about this.
So this is a very versatile ritual monster. Honestly, I love the fact that it fits Hungry Burger, of all things, into the overarching strategy here.
I have friends who haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! since the sort of dawn of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
And the one card they remember, aside from your Dark Magicians and Blue Eyes White Dragons, is Hungry Burger. And I've had so many friends, when I tell them that we do this show and that we do all the TCG stuff, they go, oh, I remember Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Hungry Burger still a thing? And now I can confidently answer, why, yes, it is.
Yes.
In fact, it's recently got some support, including this card.
It tributes a lot of stuff on the field if you need it to. And honestly, that is some of the cleanest form of removal that you have available because it doesn't count as destruction. It's really, really powerful. And despite being all about tributing, these are mostly rituals.
Mostly rituals. Now, the part of a ritual is you move from the appetizer to the main. Not my best, but I'm really trying here because it's hard to
Part
come
of
up
a
with.
full course meal.
Yeah, exactly.
Of
So
magic.
the next, yes, good. This is all good. So the next card that we're going to talk about is another mouthful. Not unlike sushi. Gunkan Suship Uni-Class Super Dreadnought. So Ibris, talk to us about this.
Yeah, so this is effectively rewarding you for committing to having a lot of sous ships out on the field. And honestly, the fact that you get to draw cards, you get to do a ton of damage, and you get to then apply a negation effect that is scaling with the amount of sous ship cards that you have. Really, really impactful and really impressive kind of finisher for the sous ship strategy.
Certainly is. And if you need to finish up your food, then get a full course of magic right here. Here, not necessarily here, but on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel tomorrow. Another one of the packs coming out tomorrow. Get your hands on it and feast on all of these food-based cards. I think we did all right working in a number of puns, don't you?
I think so.
Well, we can't ask any more, but as most meals have to, it has to come to an end. So that is the end of this month's episode of This Month in Master Duel. But a great episode so far. I've had some really, really exciting announcements. Interesting talk about the Forbidden and Limited list. We saw a great duel. We had a wonderful interview with Peria. I've had a lot of fun, Ibris.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, honestly, and I'm very excited to see just how much the likes of your SP Little Knight, the Salamangreat Raging Phoenix, a lot of impactful cards, the Horus cards as well, so much could change for the standard environment. It's really exciting.
I completely agree. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks. But that's going to be it from Ibris and I, and we will see you next time for This Month in Master Duel.